What's going on, everyone? It's Aaron here from GA Fan TV. I hope you're all keeping wonderfully well. Ballymun Kickhams have just beaten Ballyboden St Endas by 14 points in the Dublin Senior Football Championship final. And here, of course, with the match reaction as always. Of course, first of all, if you are new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. On this channel, we cover absolutely everything GA related, podcasts, news, match reactions, and absolutely everything from clubs down to the inter-county season. And yeah, it's all fan opinion, of course, as well. And look, listen, Ballymun, I'm not a Ballymun fan as such. They're not my club, but I am from the north side of Dublin. I'll go to school that's not too far, or went to school. I don't go to school anymore. I went to school that's not too far from Ballymun, and some of the players on the Ballymun team I actually would have went to school with. So, I have always had a little bit of a close affiliation with Ballymun for those reasons, and I wanted them to win. I wanted them to win today. I do feel like they are the better side, and I think they've proven that today. I did think Ballyboden would win the game, in all honesty, because I just thought they had a bit more experience in winning county championships and their firepower up front, and defensively I thought they'd be a little bit better with players like Robbie McDade and Shane Clayton in there. But in the end, Ballymun just taught Ballyboden an absolute lesson in Gaelic football. They were everything Ballymun did right, Ballyboden did wrong. Ballyboden in their kickouts were really poor. Ballymun pressed up very high up on Mark McNamee's kickouts, which caused a lot of problems. Ballyboden weren't winning their own kickouts, and Ballymun just consistently kept turning the ball over. If Ballyboden went short, Ballymun, the forwards, the likes of Fiach Andrews, Patrick Small, Dean Rock, were able to turn the ball over and have multiple chances to put the ball over the bar. And there was certainly a spell in the second half where Ballymun capitalised quite massively on that. And Ballyboden's, their heads went. Confidence was gone. They had, a 35 minute period of not even scoring in the game, which by their standards is very, very rare. But look, listen, we'll get into the teams first of all here. So start with the side, of course, that won the game in Ballymun Kickhams. So Evan Comerford in goal, Dara Conlon, Owen Dolan, and Philly McMahon, of course, making up the full back line. And the half back line, Leon Young, John Small, Carl Keeley. In midfield, Aaron Elliott, James McCarthy. And then, of course, in the half-forward line, you have Cameron McCormick, Dylan Keating and Cathal O'Toig, Dean Rock, Fiach Andrews and Paddy Small made up the full forward line. For Ballyboden St Endas, so they had Mark McNamee in goal, Cathal Flaherty, Shane Clayton, Kieran Kennedy, Brian Bobbitt, Robbie McDade, Darren Nelson in defence. In midfield, it was Michael, Darren McCauley and Aaron Waters in there. Darren O'Reilly, Warren Egan and Colin Baskell made up the half-forward line. And then Conal Keeney, Ryan Baskell and Ross McGarry made up the full forward line. And yeah, I do actually think that maybe was there a slight injury with Colin Baskell leading up to this game. He wasn't supposed to be in there originally, and then last minute there was a change by Anthony Rainbow where he brought Colin Baskell back in, and he didn't have a great game at all. He wasn't really in the game at all, and he went off in the final 15 to 20 minutes or so. Look, listen, he might not have been injured, but I do wonder if he was. But yeah, obviously, in the opening couple of stages, in the opening 5 to 10 minutes, it was very even. Conal Keeney hit a couple of bright points for Ballyboden. Ballymun were chipping away with a couple of points from Paddy Small and Dean Rock. But then, the more Ballymun started to gain more momentum, and the more they started to open up a more comfortable lead with the likes of Dean Rock, Fiach Andrews and Paddy Small all contributing, Ballyboden St Endas' heads just start to drop more and more, and it did come quite a lot from the relentless pressure that Ballymun put on this Ballyboden St Endas team. They weren't allowed time to breathe. Anytime Michael Darren McCauley or Aaron Waters got the ball, there was 2-3 men around them, pressing them. Great tackling and great defensive play at times. And you have to say the half-back line for Ballymun Kickhams, for me, were absolutely outstanding. I know Dean Rock, I think, got the man of the match on Tina G4. I would have given it to anyone in that half-back line, in my opinion, because the way they won the ball back and the turnovers at times was outstanding from the likes of Leon Young, Carl Keeley and John Small. I thought they were fantastic at transitioning from defence to attack. They were fantastic in many ways. And James McCarthy, Aaron Elliott midfield as well. James McCarthy, as we know, one of the best players in the country. And he showed it again today. Very calm in possession, slowed the game down at times when Ballymun needed to, and they got the ball into, they transitioned from the half forward line to the full forward line very well as well. And of course, the pressure on Mark McNamee from those kickouts was relentless. If Mark McNamee went short, you had the likes of Fiach Andrews and Paddy Small pressing on the likes, on the Ballyboden defence. And then, of course, if they went long, you had, of course, the half-back line in the midfield in, James McCarthy and Aaron Elliott, who were winning the ball quite easily, or at least turning it over as well. And, defensively for Ballyboden, a lot of question marks. Robbie McDade for me has had a fantastic campaign for Ballyboden, but in this game he wasn't quite good enough. Shane Clayton, Kieran Kennedy, again, the tackling just wasn't there, the pressing just wasn't quite there, and they didn't get close enough to the forwards, in my opinion. A couple of stages where the likes of Fiach Andrews and Dean Rock were allowed shots without really being pressed in any way whatsoever, and that was one of the reasons why Ballymun were able to build up quite a comfortable lead. Undoubtedly, Ballyboden crumbled under the pressure. Unfortunately, these things happen. Look, listen, they've had a great year. They will be back stronger next year, I'm sure. And, they were champions last year. They are a great team. But for whatever reason, it didn't quite work out, at the end of the first half and even in the start of the second as well. Ryan Basquel missing a couple of easy frees. Just a lot of pot shots in many ways. I felt like in the first half what Ballyboden really needed to do was maintain possession, hold the ball, just regroup a bit, regather momentum, work a score, rather than just rushing the ball like they were in the first half. They were consistently hitting it up to Ryan Basquel and just trying to, quickly get a score and rushing their chances, when in actual fact they could have took the sting out of the game and took the sting out of Ballymun's momentum and kept the ball and potentially worked a score. But, that wasn't the case. And, a lot of missed chances. Ross McGarry as well, missing opportunities. One thing I have seen from Ballyboden this year is they've been able to create a number of goal chances for the likes of Colin Basquel and Ryan Basquel. And Ross McGarry, Conal Keeney, for example, they're very good at getting it into that full forward line and getting in behind. And Ballymun were fantastic in defence as well. You have to give credit to the likes of the half-back line, like we were saying, but even Philly McMahon, Owen Dolan and Dara Conlon, fantastic in the full-back line. Ballymun got all their men back at times, which frustrated Ballyboden. It limited their opportunities for goal chances. And the game was pretty much wrapped up at half time, in my opinion. It was a 10-point lead at half time, probably even more from what I remember. And Ballymun, all they had to do was just manage the game, in all honesty. And you have very experienced All-Ireland winners in that team, All-Ireland inter-county winners with Dublin, the likes of James McCarthy, Dean Rock, John Small, who were very easily able to just keep possession, knock the ball around. And they ended up winning the game quite comfortably. A late penalty, of course, for Dean Rock, comfortably slots it home. And obviously, from there, the Ballymun players were playing with smiles on their faces in the closing stages. And we're forgetting it could have even been worse for Ballyboden. Darren O'Reilly could have been black carded for that challenge at the end of the first half. For me, that was a black card. Michael Darren McCauley, very lucky to stay on the pitch as well. Could have easily been sent off for that challenge on John Small in the second half. Very high shoulder. She could have easily been sent off as well. So look, listen, it could have been worse for Ballyboden, but Ballymun Kickhams well deserved of the victory. And they win the Dublin Football Championship the first time in 8 years. Massive for their club, of course. Their chairman Declan Small, the father of both John and Paddy Small, of course, passed away just a year ago. So massive for the community of Ballymun to get that win. And there's been some interesting results today that took place in Gaelic football. Corofin, one of the most best football clubs, Gaelic football clubs in Ireland, lost today to Mount Bellew. And you often wonder, if the All-Ireland Provincial Championships and the provincial, or the All-Ireland Champion, or the All-Ireland Club Championships and the Provincial Club Championships went ahead, how far could Ballymun have went? You never know. You just never know. And that is a bit of a shame. But look, listen, Ballymun will be there again next year. So will Ballyboden. Kilmacud, Croke, St. Jude's, of course, as well, will be knocking on the door. And what a game. Man of the match, I think you have to give it to Dean Rock, don't you? Scored 4 points from play, 1-8 in total. Fiach Andrews was brilliant as well. Dylan Keaton was very good as well, of course. And obviously, as I said before, half-back line, the likes of Carl Keeley and Leon Young, very bright as well. But of course, Dean Rock, I think he does deserve man of the match based on his output from scoring today. And just looking at it, Ballyboden only had 3 scorers in this game. Colin Baskell, Ryan Baskell and Conal Keeney. Just quite a very much an off day for Ballyboden St Endas, but Ballymun Kickhams well deserved of the victory. Anyway, lads, that's going to be the end of the video. Do let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the game. Do subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Aaron, and I'll see you in the next video.